Okay. So I'm very lucky. I've got Felix from the Cat Empire on the line. Where in the world are you, Felix? Are you here or there or where?
I'm here. I'm in Brunswick in Melbourne. That's
All
where
right.
I'm at the moment. Yeah.
Right, which is sort of where it all began 20 something years ago.
Well, yeah, I guess so. We were based. Well, all of us were from different areas. None of us went to the same school or anything like that. So I went to Wally's house a lot. We were friends when we were about 13, 14. We started playing music together, and he lived in St Kilda at that stage. I spent a lot of time in Fitzroy. A lot of the shows were in St Kilda or Fitzroy in the early days.
Yeah.
And I guess the inner north has always been a kind of. I heard some statistic that Brunswick has the highest ratio of musicians of anywhere in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere, something ridiculous like that. So, sort of throw a ball in any direction and you hit a musician.
Yeah. So when you started playing, listen, I'm going to sort of leap back and forth here. When you first started playing, um, what was your ambition? Was there a motivation there, like I'm being inspired by someone, so I want to do this, or was it just sort of happenstance the way it went?
Uh, Look, it was probably a combination of a lot of things, but I'll say something, and I hope it doesn't sound too as if I'm sort of trying to fit it into the interview, because I know that. But I went to Bluesfest when I was a teenager. I guess as soon as I finished school, I went on a road trip with some friends up there, and we just had the best time at Bluesfest. I remember standing in the audience there and just kind of imagining performing there. It was this great dream that kind of grew. And that dream was also about a kind of an ambition to play music. And, I'd been playing with Ollie, and I used to stay awake at night imagining putting bands together and what that would be like. But I think the Bluesfest probably gave me a tangible thing to say, I want to put a band together that's going to play here, And that's true. That's absolutely true to my experience. And around that time as well, I guess growing up in Melbourne, the music, the atmosphere of the music scene here, especially when we were growing up, was very, very strong. We had very different stylistic tastes. A lot of the guys were into jazz. I'd listened to more rock growing up, and also classical in my family and things like that. But everywhere in Melbourne, there was a really diverse scene, and there were older musicians who we could really draw on, and sometimes sit in with their bands, and a very diverse sort of a range of styles, but a kind of an intent that I could associate to Melbourne, be it in a really grungy pub rock band or in a jazz band or a string quartet. I felt that there was some Australian quality that was probably also specific to Melbourne in that music, and so I guess that played a big part, and we were just enjoying playing together and meeting other young musicians from other places. And so I guess Melbourne, the city, was a big part of that, and also Bluesfest in terms of giving you somewhere to go to. And then the sound of the band sort of just emerged itself. We were young, very, very young, and just pretty much threw anything we could at it, and the sound emerged that way.
Yeah, your sound draws from sort of almost every culture, as you say. You had diverse backgrounds and jazz and reggae and Latin and ska. And Melbourne is such a boiling pot of multiculturalism, if you like. Yet overseas, when you play, you're sort of regarded as distinctly Australian, which is almost a
Yeah,
paradox.
it is. It is. Well, it is a real paradox, and I'm not afraid of paradoxes. I've come to really celebrate them, in people and in music. When people say that person's a hypocrite, I go, yeah, of course he's a hypocrite. He's a person. I think that we live with these great paradoxes within us, and the Cat Empire is a particularly extreme example of that, I think. And 18 years into my career with that band, I still haven't got a good one-liner to say what the band does. I don't know how to describe it. I always end up stuttering or sort of going around in circles. It's not an easy band to describe. It's really a band based on its paradoxes more than it is its easy definition of what it does. But that's also part of its atmosphere, I think, and what makes it hopefully a very dynamic and lively band to watch, I guess. But yes, that is absolutely true. We are a band made up of paradoxes, and we've come to celebrate that rather than suffer it too much.
Uh, so of a band of paradoxes. Well, that's right. You can't actually say, well,
Sounds
you
like some
can.
kind of bird, doesn't it?
Yeah,